Alrighty, folks, we are back. We do apologize for that delay. We had a little bit of a problem getting into the server, but it looks like we are ready for our next match here now. So we're going to hop over to a different one like we said before, giving those other players a little bit of a break. So switching over to LipinR, taking on id, and that is the id that I'm sure many Quake fans at home will be very well aware of. We're actually missing most of the drops. Let's jump over and take a look at that really quickly before you miss that opportunity completely.
I'm wondering if it'll blast out. No clutch though, huh? That's what I was just wondering to see if you bust out clutch on this map, but guess not. I like the tankier champion. Just me personally, I'd like to see. It seems like clutch gets used a little more often on Blood Run, so I was hoping to see him.
Yeah, so it's looking like we're going to be jumping back into Blood Run here, so we'll have another matchup over on this map here now. And like we said, this is a completely new match. So the players and all that are different, and as far as we're aware, I'm pretty sure we got this confirmed too, that this is the actual this is going to be the first map in this match. So you guys didn't miss the first match here. This is still the very first map of the full best of 3, starting at 0-0, nice and fresh. We'll get to jump into it and see if anyone can take on here id, who's probably I think he is actually our #1 seed in this qualifier so far.
Yeah, Team Liquid, practices with all those guys over there, so it's no wonder that he's #1 this week in regards to the seeding. So I think the first week he had some internet issues, so I'm wondering if that's all cleaned up this week and to see how he does.
Yeah, that might have been actually what caused a bit of a delay here, because we were switching over and then we lost him and everything. So I think his internet crashed out there for a second, and that's why it took a bit longer to get this match started. But it looks like we're good to go now. So starting it off. It actually taken quite a bit of damage right from the start, but he's going to return that now with a quick rail pickup. He's got great control of the middle area. Oh, middle of the map right now, and Lipin tries to go for a repeat, but gets destroyed by a second rail from id, and there we go. Already got the first kill.
Yeah, it's a rough start for LipinR. When you start at that SNG, you gotta run the gauntlet, get to that heavy armor, and it put some good damage on him underneath at the rail, and followed up 2 more good rails at rocket launcher. He knew LipinR really wanted it, that rocket launcher, and he paid the price. He really wanted it. He came out a second time and got hit again. So
it's still trying to work around a good point to actually jump back in and re-engage on Lipin here, but Lipin a lot of dodging currently. Past his opponent over there. id once again blocking off parts of the map there on the Galena, giving him a little bit more room to maneuver here and trying to stop his opponent from running away, trying to lock his opponent into that room if he can, but that's a pretty big hotspot right now, so maybe not be the best to engage into that one. Regardless, he's not going to be given a choice though, as Lipin jumps back into it, but the quick switch from id does allow him to claim the second kill again as he gets that nice clutch rail shot off.
it was actually a nice play by LipinR. A good idea to go in there with the skill swap, but the rail at close range is probably not advised.
Once again, leaping down here and trying to get back in, and well, there you go, quick follow-up to get that third and final kill, and it seems like it is going to be id just dominating in the very first round there, as he claims round #1 and will already start himself off 1-0 in this match.
Yeah, very much in control of that first round. You can tell, even with the way he's moving around, he just seems very steady and calm right now.
Already jumping back into it here, and unfortunately for id, he's going to be forced into combat relatively quickly here. Already down at 22 HP, trying to hit a rail shot as he's got his opponent low too, and there we go. Lipin really wanted to try and press on the engagement there. He got so close to taking down id, but at the very end of it, just overpressed it and ran into that final rail shot to once again lose the initial 1v1 battle and give id the first blood.
Hey, good for Lip. I like how he had no fear there, though. He had an opportunity for a kill, and he went in for it. I mean, he knows he's probably outgunned here. So I like the not backing away attitude. Just, if you got a position you think you should push, then push. Don't just be afraid of the other player,
So Lipin still trying to be cautious here, still trying to be nice and slow about the way he moves around the map and engages here. And he's trying to keep control over the mega health currently, and walks into another fight. Unfortunately, he's sitting on the much squishier champion right now over on Nick, so he can't take another hit from that. Does have to back away and go to recover some of his armor. Otherwise, he's going to be dead on the next shot.
Yeah, so it's going to come for the heavy armor next. Lip's got to be careful doing that when you don't have the exact timing. And there it goes. Yeah, he's probably definitely gonna get fragged. Yeah, it's good to ghost walk on the heavy armor and you appear right on it, but if you don't know the exact second, you don't pop from it.
Yeah, and now look at this.
And then a little spawn frag to follow things up.
Nicely done for mid. Just wanted to crush it right there. The third and final kill. I think that was like what, like a 3-second gap between the second and third kills there for the point that is that his third champion spawned in. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and for newer players who are learning Duel, LipinR spawned it over there by the rocket launcher. Experienced players will typically, after a frag, especially if they still got a stack, which it did, and they'll go over and check the rocket launcher spawn area for you. So you just got to be careful charging down into the mega health lightning gun area right after you spawn, because you'll probably get mopped up for a second kill if you do that. Pretty typical.
And at this point, trying to camp up on top. He actually does run into his opponent, who's trying to dodge around him, but nice rocket to the face. He's going to try to pour it right in front of him, but the stealth got in the way now. So Lipin's going to stay alive for right now, but still very low. Only 43 HP remaining. Thankfully, spawns the time, gets the time on the spawn correctly, and will be able to go and pick up the full armor, but lost the mega health, so still very low. Only 18 HP remaining, with the armor basically gone too. He's got to run. He cannot stay in this fight. He's going to try to bait his opponent into the fight, and he successfully hits another rocket. Also, while getting in to just jump completely forward, so kind of successfully disengaged for right now and survived to see another day. Won't lose that initial champion right off the bat for a third time in a row.
Hey, you fought him off well there. He actually has the advantage here.
Now pushing him into a corner.
There it is.
Id messing up there right at the end and walking himself into a corner where there is no escape from that when you're going to expand by the LG. So there we go. Lipin finally able to lock down the kill. Get himself an advantage for, I believe, for the first time in this map so far that he's actually had a kill advantage over Id. These guys continue to just really go at it here. Both players wanting to continue that fight. It is going to jump away from it. Let's be a little bit more careful, a little bit more strategic about how he takes these fights, but walks into another rail. Oh, however, Lipin still goes down as Id's able to continue his connections and follow through with a second rail shot to claim the trade kill and bring it back down to a 2-2.
Yeah, a little bit of a rail war there, and he won the battle. I mean, it's just...
He's going to continue to spam rails. The problem for Lipin, though, is that he just keeps walking into them, so he's going to get hit once again. Just over 25 HP currently. It's very, very low right now. He's been able to recover some of it as he does make a run around, trying to find a better spot to spam these rails, but he's got to be so careful. He's been so on point with his rails so far in this map, and specifically in this round so far. You saw it before, hit almost 3 rails back to back to back, so he's going to be a little bit careful about these engagements. And speaking of which, there's another one. Only 20 HP remains, so the totem is actually going to get the kill, but the rail also could have done the damage for him too there, as it now claims the advantage back and is a 2v1 advantage.
Yeah, that little totem placement right next to him, you're in combat, and you're strafing back and forth, and kind of ran into it. It was a good first rocket, he's looking to follow it up, but it's a nice little totem right in the middle of that hallway.
Impressive.
And yet another rail shot is going to connect for Id, and there you go. 3-0 run straight up for Id, as he is going to take map number 1 here and start himself off with a nice and easy 1-0 set score. Keep in mind, one more map to go still. He does need the 2 to be able to push forward into the next stage of the bracket.
Yeah, very much in control. 47% rail, it's only 20% for LipinR. On double the shots taken.
Just the damage on the rail there too. Look at that, 1540 versus only 320 done by Lipin. So there's a huge difference there. The rails is really what allowed Id to kind of dominate in that match, it seemed like.
Yeah, just a sign its experience. I mean, Lip's not really able to get into a favorable engagement, and it's like it always knows he's coming first, why he's lined up for those rails a lot of the time. So LipinR's giving it his best shot, but he's up against a really experienced player right now. So
yeah, absolutely. So again, guys, second map. As soon as the players do pick it, I'm gonna let them know that they can go whenever they would like. So as soon as those guys are ready to jump into a second map, we can get started and see. Like I said before, there was a couple good moments from Lipin. He actually did have it on the run for a little bit there at the start of the very third round. Unfortunately, kind of lost that advantage. Continued to take the fights. Thought he could continue to play aggressively against Id there, but Id was just so on point with the rails. He was able to spin that back around and take it down from the 3v2 all the way to a 1v2, where he eventually still won with 2 champions left over in the third and final round. That was probably the best run that Lipin had, was on that third round. The first round, I think he had him on the ropes for a little bit there too, but the second round, well, that was all Id right there. That was just Id's dominating in the second round. Unfortunately, Lipin was just never really given a chance there.
Yeah, just showing his experience running around and running the spawns. You kind of get used to when you make these make frags in certain areas of various maps, you get used to, areas to check immediately after to try to continue to put pressure on your opponent, and that's generally the sign of an experienced player. And then an inexperienced player won't know these things and kind of tends to run into those areas that tend to get checked and they get spawn fragged a little more often than more experienced guys. So it's just a learning process that I'm sure LipinR has been working through as he's been practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. So looks like, judging from the chat here, I believe we're going to be going to Corrupted Keep for the second map, which is going to be a much different arena, a lot smaller, a lot tighter, and of course it's going to be a lot faster probably in the way that some of these rounds do end up being played, especially with the way that id was playing. I think it was at the end of the second round where id got super aggressive and went for the immediate spawn kill onto Lipin's third and final champion there, and was successful in it too. Had some really creative use of like a totem comboed with a rail shot, and then just completely shut down his opponent. So I'm interested to see if he's going to try to do some more of that here. But it is time for the draft, so we can jump into that here and take a look and see if there's going to be any big change-ups at all to the picks, or if these guys are going to stay relatively similar. Well, already right there you have one, the Blazkowicz coming in. I don't think we had that in the last match. If we did, we never saw it for sure.
I think you might have picked him. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think you might have picked him third. The last map.
Yeah, I just don't think he ever got to use it because he never got.
No, yeah, he never got past. Oh, well, he got past Elena one time, and then what did he go to after that? I wasn't. But yeah, I don't remember seeing BJ.
Yeah, so hopefully that gets pulled out, because the beach is actually pretty good on this map in my opinion. Just how if you get stuck in a bad situation, it's really good defensively to try and like turn around to fight if you get stuck in a really close room, and if you don't have like good weapons or whatever, then you can just use that for an extra burst of damage to try and win the fight, especially if you're going up against a squishier character.
Yeah, and the double hit scan is just brutal with Blazkowicz. Like you said, if you catch him in the right spot, I mean, there's really not much they can do, especially with the lightning that just pushes you around, So when you have two of them hitting you, it's just really rough. The double
LG really just completely melts you if you get stuck with it. So you have to, if you see that coming, just run away.
I think it's beautiful to see myself. It's funny watching somebody get pinned like that.
All right, well, it does look like the players are ready now, and we're going to be starting round number 1 here in a second. For those that are just joining us, id currently has the advantage versus LipinR. It's a 1-0 lead in a best-of-3 set, so if id claims this map, then he will be moving forward into the bracket, and Lipin will be eliminated. But if Lipin strikes back, we go to a third and final map, and we're already jumping into combat. It's 3 quick rocket shots from Lipin to claim the first kill. Id thought he could take that battle with the super shotgun, but definitely not. It's his Blazkowicz goes down within the first 15 seconds of the round.
Yeah, nice initial rockets by LipinR.
He's gonna try to do it again here too. The charge completes. He got a lot of damage on, but just couldn't follow it up after that charge. So id does get the trade frag and brings it down to the 2v2. We're only 30 seconds into the round. Already 2 frags have happened.
Yeah, he just needed that one follow-up rocket after the charge hit there.
So close, but no cigar for Lipin there. So now he's got to try to recover a little bit. And id, in the meantime, well, he's being a little bit louder. You can hear that as we're looking at Lipin's perspective right now. But id is hopping all around currently, trying to find.
He knows he's nearby.
Finally, they're going to jump into that fight. Good rocket connections from Lipin, and he himself is not taking a lot of damage. I mean, relatively immobile in that fight, despite being on the Knicks, which is a rather risky move, but did end up having to back away there due to the positioning not being the best. So id's going to jump back into it here now, but again, doesn't end up in the best spot to actually take a fight at that range with the LG. You can see he's trying to use the machine gun right now, but it's not going to work currently. So Lipin actually being kind of hard to track down. You can see this. It's struggling actually to try and find him here. And Lipin's doing a really good job with his positioning so far. He just can't get enough damage on to fully lock him down to recommit and get the kill. So he keeps having to back away and reset the fight.
Yeah, I wish he would have taken the time to engage instead of, well, he's dead now. But during that whole process, he could have maybe tried to take a more aggressive tactic to ghost walk instead of waiting until he did damage and run away. But just all over him on the spawn kills. But it's one of the things about Nyx, if you're waiting for defensive use of that ability, you're really not getting the most out of it. Especially with the tankier class that he was going against, it would have been good for him to get maybe a little aggressive there and push in with Ghost Walk and get that initial rocket, and really even the score when you get into a battle, especially against a Sorlag.
Yeah, and obviously right before we saw that third and final spawn kill, it is from id. Oh, nicely done with the nail gun. Actually gets a kill. You don't see the nail gun being brought into the fight very often, but right there showed some great prominence against Lipin as he charged into it, whiffed the charge, unfortunately, and then just couldn't get any follow-up damage in there. Id already going for the second kill. We've already seen the stealth pop out from Lipin, and Lipin now trying to continue the fight, but he only has that LG and the tri-bolt to try and continue that fight. Will not work out. It even did actually end up popping the dual wield as a bit of an emergency because his health was getting a little low, but this round could end in under a minute here as he's just going to continue to go for this kill. Look at this. He's got him on the ropes now. Lipin down to health, but so is Id. However, the lead in there with the final rocket, and there you go. Under 1 minute for round number 2, and Id already claims it.
Yeah, good round for Id. Lipin, you know, mentally, it looks like he kind of fell apart in that round a bit. So, you know, first frag thing goes away, and got kind of followed up, and just never really got into any kind of rhythm in that round at all.
So there we go, already 2-0 for Id. I was trying to talk about before how Lipin actually, round number 1 was doing really good. He made a fatal mistake on his Nyx, though, where he actually missed a jump and ended up losing all speed, and then he missed right at the very end there like a full armor pickup, which I think led to him getting trapped and killed. And then obviously the follow-up there led to the next 4 kills, which we did see in that last round. But Id barely going to be able to hang on for his first kill here. Survives that encounter with only 16 HP remaining and I think about 5 armor. He gets the kill, however, on the spawn. Lipin's going to try to chase, and oh, really close there. But Lipin does end up getting the frag. He does have to run to get some health pickups here, as after that bleed connects, he's only going to be down at about 25 HP, so definitely needs a few pickups to stay alive.
Yeah, he knew he was low after that nice exchange he had. He almost got the kill. It was a good charge and mid-air rocket to follow it up.
Lipin still on the ropes here. 15 HP remaining. Recovering some of it now, but there's not a whole lot to recover, unfortunately, when you're on Nyx. Squishiest champion in the game, and there you go. Id once again is going to claim the kill, and also a bit of an early pop on the dual wield, just for the second time now that we've seen that used slightly prematurely. However, doesn't seem to matter too much as he has full control of this matchup, and he's already going for the third and potentially final kill. 100 damage rocket, going to leap up, rocket jump to it. Almost another full damage one there. And Lipin, he's just trying to stay alive. He's just trying to run. He's trying to get away from this fight, but he can't escape the wrath of Id as he's going to move in, and a final full connection on the rocket to claim it and win map number 2 in a dominating 3-0 fashion. That is going to be Id taking this set 2-0.
Yeah, Lipin just trying to run away. Id doing a good job cutting off the map, keeping high ground, you know, shooting rockets on his position. Not much Lipin can do, you know, from his perspective. He's under a lot of pressure, you know, and he's learning how to duel and coming up through the ranks. So I'm sure he'll use this as a good experience for him going on. But, you know, fairly easily done by Id.
Yeah, so with Id claiming that one, he is going to be able to move forward a little bit further into the bracket here. And we are going to jump onto a break, ladies and gentlemen, while we do figure out what our next match is going to be. Should just be a few moments as we do pick some new players and get them into our server here. And as soon as we do have them ready to roll, we'll be bringing it back to you with another match. Stick with us, and we'll have more here from the Quake World Championships North American Regional Qualifiers for Duel Week number 3 in just a few minutes.